So with the new Tomb Raider, essentially we built it from the ground up. This is a reboot. After Underworld, we really pared it back and said, where do we want to take this franchise? We took some time to really find a new direction, a modern direction for Tomb Raider, and that's resulted in what we're showing this week, what we showed last year, which is this survival action take on Tomb Raider, and what we feel is a much more modern expression of action-adventure in this character, Lara Croft. So the setup for the storyline is that Lara's on her first adventure. She's fresh out of college. She definitely has a determination and the willingness to go and explore. Obviously that takes a turn for the worst in this game, and they are shipwrecked onto this island. The cast of characters we've revealed a little bit in this year's demo. Obviously there's a group of survivors that are with her. They have some knowledge of the area, but they are dealing with myths as well. This is a Tomb Raider game, and there are some myths and legends about this island. So they don't really know the mysteries of the island, and they have to kind of work that out on the fly. Also, we showcase some of the other people on the island, and they're not so friendly. So there's an ecosystem on the island, from animals through to humans. Those humans on the island, the opponents and enemies she comes across, they're not necessarily born and bred there, over hundreds of years. They were at one point other survivors that had crash landed on the island as well. And in the story, we see how that plays out. We see what their motivations are. We see what the crew and Lara has to do to understand their motivations and actually kind of get off the island. And that's a big part of the storyline.
So is there a supernatural Bermuda Triangle element at play here?
There's a mystery at play, right? So there certainly is mystery. I wouldn't say necessarily supernatural, but there is an undercurrent of intrigue and mystery, and you unfold the story as you go, and that's a big part of a Tomb Raider game. Lara absolutely does take damage in this game. It is a game where we really have put her in a state of peril. It's one where we actually really wanted to spend more time on the journey rather than the destination. So this journey of action-adventure, of going out there for the first time and foraging and breaking new ground and going to new places, really we wanted to show that in a way which we felt we hadn't really shown before in Tomb Raider. So showing peril, showing that it's difficult, showing that it's not easy, showing that there's these challenges to overcome was very important. That is reflected somewhat in the health system. I would say it's a soft health system rather than it's a health bar type thing. It is systemic in some ways, which I guess we'll get to when we actually show that off, but there is some systemic undercurrent in there as well. For the most part, it is a health system where you can actually regen rather than sort of 3 hits and you're out. Oh wow, Lara's amazing death scenes, yes. Actually, the honest truth is when we thought back to the original Tomb Raider, it was one of the things that all of us remembered, right? The falling on the spikes was there was this cause and effect and kill or be killed kind of moments in Tomb Raider, and over time they'd become sort of softer. And as we were doing this survival themed adventure this time round, which really is a very visceral, edge of your seat type stuff, it felt natural actually to bring some of those death sequences back in. That it really is this, you can survive or die moment, and dying is pretty brutal. So we have created some of them. Honestly, I don't know off the top of my head how many there are across the game, but there are a number. And certainly we wanted to reflect the harshness of the situation that Lara's in, and the fact that if you don't overcome these situations, it's dire circumstances for Lara. No, I don't believe you can break her neck, no. Not in the same way as the old ones. But I also do remember the bone-crunching sound effect of swan diving and breaking her neck was gruesome at the time. I think looking back at it and look at it now, it probably doesn't feel that way, but at the time it was pretty gruesome to see that.